Wide web. When I cut in. Oh, South Stands Live. I just got the notification on my phone.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow, you got notifications. Huh?
That's fucking high tech. Signed up for some YouTube channel or something.
Yeah. Okay. Whoop. Yep. It just went live on here. So
remind
me
when
we're live on here. Thanks for joining us. We're gonna go. Let me do this. Everyone, just make sure they're close to the mics. Make sure you're close to the mics. Not you. You're loud
down on it. Get down on it. Man, that's a fucking sweet mic you got.
Hell yeah,
representing with that.
Thank you, Jake Shapiro. Or no, the other.
This is Jake. Jake Marcin. Yeah, Jake Marcin gave us that. So I'm ready to go. If you are,
just remind me. I wait till the end of the intro to cut in with the sword, or do it right away.
No, start.
No, yeah, we
right
now. We all rock out
as soon as I give you the high sign. So you're unmuted.
Yep.
Okay.
And you want to start the sword out at top volume.
Good.
That's
yep.
That's that input.
That's this one here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then once John starts to talk, you fade the sword out.
Hit it. Wait, do it again.
Okay. Sorry.
I mean, I would include it anyway, but fuck it.
Yeah. All right. Sweet.
Go.
Live from the Sportique Studios at the fabulous NFL Combine Party at the Denver Swim Club, this is the South Stands Denver Fancast. I'm Colin Daniels with guest producer, the terrible Bronco Jeff, and former BSNer, now bitter former BSNer, Nick Tremolori.
You're close.
Tremoroli. We need to do this over again. Just do it over.
No, everyone already knows.
No. Fuck that. They know. They don't know. Tremolori. Tremoroli. Tremoroli.
Don't.
Like a rabbit.
Keep jamming it. He's through his whole thing, and then as soon as I start talking, then you fade
her down.
Yeah.
Not when I start talking. When
I start talking. Because everyone wants to hear me, so you got to decrease.
Hi, internet.
This is how the sausage is made.
You didn't want to know.
You didn't want to know, but
tastes like chicken.
It's usually, it's sometimes it doesn't go right, but it's okay. Okay, we're ready.
Live from the Sportique Studios at the fabulous NFL Combine Party at the Denver Swim Club, this is the South Stands Denver Fancast. I'm Colin Daniels with guest producer, Bronco Jeff. Denver sports co-conspirator, Nick Tremoroli. And your host, John Reedy.
Yeah, baby.
Woo!
Food and beer now. I just take that beer and I'm belching like a fiend. It's the worst time.
You are gassy.
Coming out of both ends. I don't know why I get so gassy right before I have to speak, because then I'm just like, hey, anyway, and so, woo. Okay, so we're back. Welcome to the show. We're doing some sports podcasting, and we're doing it live as well on the YouTube for everyone to see.
That's what all the kids are doing it now.
Everyone's
streaming this and streaming.
Everyone's about streaming. You got to get streaming these days. If you're not streaming, you're screaming.
It's like the methane is streaming from your anus.
Absolutely. Right, so I wanted to welcome in. See, I just call him Nick Trem because it's easier to say. So Nick Trem, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great. long day ending this way.
This is great. So you're here. You got a beer. You're ready to rock and roll.
You're here. You've got a beer. That's all. Nothing else.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm mature.
That's it.
That's the way I end every day. So right.
He's not wearing pants. That's the thing. You can't see that on the live feed. So
I will stand up by request.
Well, that's the added bonus. See, here's what we do. It's the added bonus when the audio stops and the people listening on their iPhone, they don't get that part. You'll get up, walk around naked, just with your sweater on, naked below, which is, we all know it's very creepy to have a man wearing a shirt and nothing on below. That's super creepy, right? It's really gross.
Especially a sweater like that.
Exactly.
Like I'm going to get dressed. Like I like taking my work clothes off, put some comfies on at night, and I'm standing in my closet, and I like try to get dressed quick because I don't want one of my kids rolling in and seeing me just like with a shirt and then like naked. I mean, like waist down naked. Because I think that's just like they'll scar them. They'll be like, "Oh my god, that is the grossest thing I've ever seen."
Ask Louis C.K.
Sure. So, but we got Nick here, and I've known Nick for a while through Twitter, and then after we went to the BSN thing that we went to, the BSN launch party, I finally met him, and I thought, you know what, I like the cut of this guy's jib. I think he'd do all right on the show, and he does cover DU for the Let's Go DU website, right?
Yeah, it's called letsgodu.com. We cover anything and everything DU. We break some stuff, but we just write and we cover games. It's fun. It's a hell of a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to get into the college sports. I promised everybody 2 hours of college sports.
I have a DU topic.
Okay, good. But you also cover the Rockies. You covered the Rockies. You know a lot about the Rockies, and we're going to talk about my Rockies a little later. I don't know if you guys knew that. We're going to get into it.
Now, you've got season tickets in the club level. Is that right?
Colin, I don't know if you know this, but my season tickets are in the club level.
Confirmed.
Third base side.
Confirmed.
Third base side. Yep, it's great. But Nick's got his Rockies jacket on, and he's getting into the spirit. So we're gonna definitely get into some Rockies here a little bit later. I did want to say we have a no college sports rule here, so you're fucked basically if you want to talk about college sports. But you are an accountant, so Colin's going to bring his taxes up in a couple boxes. You guys got that ready? He's going to bring up. So if you want to do his taxes while you're here, he'd really appreciate it. That'll be a good second for the second quarter. It'll be a good segment for that. It's no secret. I don't like college sports. I'm not a fan. I appreciate that people are into it. It just doesn't do anything for me. And I will admit I've never been to a college hockey game before, so I probably should go just to experience it. But come on,
I have been to a DU hockey game.
I've never been. Sell me on it. Why would I like it better than seeing my big pro strong boys?
Well, you're going to see the game a lot better.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, it's
smaller arena.
Yep. I mean, I would say that the crowd is going to be into it a lot more than you normally would at an Avs game, for example. A lot of people are more involved and more invested in the game because, I mean, you take me, I'm an alum. I went to DU. There are a lot of alums that go to these games, and they get way into it.
Yeah.
You have your typical Denver sports fans that go to these games, the guys who are like, this is something to do on a Friday or Saturday night. But the vast majority, I would say, are actually way more invested in the outcome of the games because you know what? At the end of the day, my donation dollars hinge on their success.
Sure.
And so the better the team is, the better the school does with their money. And so these people are actually invested in the outcome of these games. And you see that in the crowds. You see it at DU. You see it especially at North Dakota. I mean, as much as I hate that school, everything about the now Fighting Hawks, I mean, you see it there. You see it all around the country. And it's kind of one of the best niche sports you're ever going to find.
So wait, weren't they the Fighting Leprechauns or something like that before? Weren't they Notre Dame? No, North Dakota.
Yeah, North Dakota.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm doing the ND.
It's okay. They stole Notre Dame's logo. So
gotcha.
There's that.
Well, DU's also a perennial champion. Like they're always in the mix to win it all. So that has a track record of people knowing, hey, there's some success here, as opposed to CSU where everyone's like, well, this isn't going anywhere, so why bother? I mean, people still come out for that bullshit too. So there is a track record there of actual success. So they have that going for them. Is what I mean.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you've got arguably the greatest program of all time. They're tied with North Dakota for the second most national titles of all time, and they've got 3 in the last 2 decades, which is saying a lot, especially for the amount of parity that you've seen in the sport. I mean, it's what they've been able to do under both George Wostecki and Jim Montgomery is just absolutely incredible. And hell, they're in the mix to win it again this year. I mean, and hell, DU's had a lot of success winning back-to-backs over the years. But it's, I mean, no matter, I mean, they haven't been playing well lately, but you can't rule out them going on a monster run and just taking out everything between here and St. Paul.
As an alum and as a fan of the hockey team and of the school in general, I want to ask you about Boone.
Oh, here we go. Yes.
Yeah, let's get right into it.
Here we go.
And I my relationship to DU is having been a resident. I own a home on South Gilpin Street, right nearby the school, and usually it's my rental now. I usually rent it to students, and so I have it because I live in the neighborhood and I get parking issues during games and that kind of thing. They give residents tickets, so I've been to several events at Ritchie Center, and I am a huge fan of Boone. Drawn in 1952 by none other than the Walt Disney, this little character of Daniel Boone representing DU athletics is obviously something that outside the university at places like the Pioneer and other places is still honored as an unofficial mascot of the school, but the school itself has decided to let Boone go for political correctness reasons, and I don't even understand that. I mean,
can you help us understand?
Yeah, please help me understand what it is about that caricature that people find offensive.
Unfortunately, it is completely irrational, and that's the stance that we've taken at Let's Go DU. It's the stance that I think the vast majority of alumni have taken. I don't know if I can adequately help
a defense for their case.
Yeah, because I don't see it either.
Well, I can. He's a white colonizer, is what he is. He cut a bloody swath across the country, killing Native Americans.
He's a cute little guy with a coonskin cow. He never killed anybody.
And that's the issue that a lot of us have: is you're conflating this caricature of a cute pioneer with the
atrocities of the past.
And I think, honestly, I truly believe that the history that DU has with John Evans, the founder of the school and the namesake for Evans Avenue, I think there is an element of, if we're the pioneers and John Evans had played a part in the Sand Creek Massacre, well, this doesn't make sense at all. If we had Boone as our mascot, well, hang on, why are we the pioneers? And so this Boone issue has grown into a pioneers issue.
No,
I'm dead serious.
You've got to be kidding.
I wish.
So what would they be instead? The Eagles?
Trailblazers.
No, fucking way.
So,
the fucking Trailblazers?
We reported, I think it was about a month and a half ago, that DU was very close to replacing Pioneers with Trailblazers.
No
there was
way.
Breaking news. Colin's having an aneurysm.
Absolutely having an aneurysm.
There was a movement from beneath the board of directors, beneath the chancellor.
Wait. Hold on. Back up a little bit.
Okay.
So I don't know about this guy Evans. I didn't know that's what Evans was named for. Was he involved in the Sand Creek Massacre?
The details there are a bit fuzzy.
Okay, well,
and I will say, so he also founded Northwestern University, and they haven't cut ties. They had a full inquiry and full investigation into his involvement, and they said, well.
So I guess they're tying in a pioneer who was a person who moved across the country and settled the land, probably most definitely stole some land from some natives.
Probably killed an Indian girl along the way.
Well, you got
to do what you got to do.
There's probably lots of rampant murder going on all over the place.
Some raping.
So it seems that that's the word that they're hinging on, because then they will go trailblazer, which is kind of the same thing,
exactly,
right?
Because a pioneer, we're always out in front of things. We're blazing a new trail.
They still use pioneer in other walks of life. They say he's a pioneer in genetics.
How many schools do you know of whose nickname is the Pioneers?
I know of at least 5 or 6.
How many are Trailblazers?
Exactly.
5,000?
Yeah, exactly.
Including the Portland NBA franchise? Come on, man.
Yeah. They're the Jailblazers, though, remember? Because all those dudes were getting in trouble.
Yeah.
So
the Latrell UL days.
So that, okay, let's say they do Trailblazer. Will they keep the cute character? Because
he's gone. They've already gotten rid of the cute character.
That is bullshit. That is bullshit.
Okay,
that is an iconic
drawn by Walt Disney himself. Not one of his people, him in 1952.
It's frustrating as hell for a lot of us, and there has been a movement among a number of alumni, a number of highly placed alumni to bring it back. But a lot of us feel, I mean, myself included, this has been a headache for the last 10 or 15 years. And it's not worth the headache to really make this an official thing.
But the name Pioneers is, right?
Exactly. That was one of the biggest things that we.
So that will be fought.
Exactly. That will be, and it was. In fact, I believe at this point the board of directors came out. I think it was about 2 weeks after we started reporting on this. They said in an email to an alumnus who shared the in writing with us the email that he got saying, no, we have no plans to change Pioneers to anything. Pioneers is part of our identity, part of the framework that is DU. We're not changing it. And you know what? If we were to, that'd be kind of trying to erase the past. We understand that there are pitfalls in the history.
Absolutely.
And let's embrace all of the history of it, and let's use it as a tool to learn about what happened, and not just say, well, we have to get rid of it.
We're going to pretend it didn't happen.
Exactly. Let's not pretend like it didn't happen.
It's akin to tearing down, statues in Arkansas, but it to me, it's even more egregious because those caricatures in those sculptures are people who were involved in the rebellion directly. Whereas,
you can take those statues, and people were putting them in specific places to people to go see. Go, hey, here's the statue of Jefferson Davis or whatever, and you can go see them somewhere, and that's where you can go. Okay, I'm going to go pay money to be racist. And so, but then let's you know what? A lot of other people don't like that. They don't want to see it. I think that this doesn't become a problem until people start thinking about it and it being fed to them and going, hey, well, that guy in the coonskin cap, he killed a bunch of Indians while he was smiling and looking all cute. Is the image of him, because it's on the Let's Go DU site. You use them in there. So the reason why we see all the Colorado flag shit now is because the state of Colorado stopped using it as their official thing, right? Is that right? And then all of a sudden it was free for all. Everyone started using it. I believe that's what it is.
Sounds right.
So then they went to the new logo, which is actually designed by a friend of mine. A lot of people didn't like it. He's a very good artist. They went to that, and so the Colorado flag kind of went crazy. So is it basically okay to use because they're like, we don't want it, so everyone can use it?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
So you use it wherever you want, honestly. And as far as I'm concerned, plaster it up all over town. Let people see it. I mean, it's a great logo, and
it's a fantastic logo.
It's awesome. I mean, and that's the biggest thing, and I think that's the saddest part is you're getting rid of an identity that a lot of people have with DU. I mean, whether it's Boone, whether it's Pioneers, whether it's anything, you're getting rid. Like for myself as an alum, I'm sorry, I identify as a pioneer, and you're trying to tell me that no, I'm actually a trailblazer. No, I graduated as a pioneer, and if you're the Trailblazers, sorry, that's not me. And as a result, I don't really identify with that school anymore. And my donation dollars, interesting how they're staying in my pocket.
Interesting. The Vikings did some damage, didn't they?
They messed up all kinds of stuff.
They killed. They
maimed.
They swept across Western Europe and did their thing. So hey, I think.
And then there's the Redskins.
Then there's the Redskins.
So one team that legitimately by now it's just unfriggin' believable that they've never changed their name. They still haven't changed it.
It's crazy. And then we'll get into that. I'm making tired. The Cleveland Indians were like, we're done using the crazy Chief Wahoo. Next year we'll still sell it on hats and shirts for as long as you want. Yeah. So let's take a break. We'll get into the second quarter already. Yeah, it's good stuff. So we'll get some tunes going. Jeff got some tunes for us, and we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You got it.
How hot is Ivanka Trump anyway, right? That's so fucking hot. Oh my God.
Yeah, you can bring it down.
When she's all business suited out, like walking around in North Korea or South Korea, talking to all the dignitaries and shit.
I wish she was in North Korea.
God, Ivanka make out with that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't care.
I'm going to take a leak. So we do. I'm going to do a read and then questions. Read and then questions. So only one song. Oh no, we got to need the questions.
There'll be a song after. I'll do the question song. You'll do the questions and then another song.
Hey, you're good at this.
Got it. The amount of fucking pressure I've been putting on myself. I'm literally not kidding. Like people are like, how the fuck did you get that? Because I've been talking about the South Stands Fancast like ever since I heard it for the first time. I've listened to all of them, and I'm like, this is actually what it feels like to work in the Trump White House. And all of a sudden they're like, here you go, here's your job. Like, what? Me now?
Well, Scott tried to bump you. He was like, hey fellows, I'm available. And we were like, we kind of got it. And he was like, well, I'm moving on Wednesday. And then we were like, he'll do Thursday, and then we can do Thursday. And I was like, I already got Jeff lined up. So,
Well, this is his gig, and I'm just filling in.
I told him, I said, that's your chair, Scott. Don't you worry about it, Scott. It's your chair. You guys
have spent forever building this up. Like this
is the 270th show.
This I know.
270.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad.
I tell my friends to address me as the guest producer.
Nice.
What's that?
269 last year.
Nice. Yeah, you know it. I think it'll be 9 years this fall. I think it'll be the first. That will be the anniversary of it. So.
I was at a Nuggets game. I just uploaded. I just put Stitcher on my phone, and I was looking through the categories, and it said local, and I saw South Stands. I'm like, what's this? And I started listening to it. I was like, holy shit! Like, this is what I've been looking for.
Exactly.
So Scott's archiving the King Gizzard albums right now. Is that what's filling his time?
I don't know what he's doing. Doing something like that. I gotta get these belches out.
This is.
Oh, that one was wet.
those wet ones.
Questions. Goddamn, that sounds like Alfred Williams. Questions.
No, Alfred Williams says questions.
Question? I got a question.
He says questions.
I typed it in wrong.
Oh, thank God. I just dominated fantasy hockey the last couple of years, right? So 3 years ago, I was in first place, won the whole thing. Last year, I was in first place the whole year, got bounced in the playoffs. This year, I was down in third, and I finally climbed back into first. Right near the end, this is the last week for the playoffs, and I've got Matt Murray and Corey Crawford as my goalies.
All right.
Which Crawford hasn't played in a long time.
Any other year.
And Murray just got hurt. And so I've just the last 2 weeks have just been a fucking shit show. And I'm going into the playoffs now just with a fucking shit show. Got Patrice Bergeron from him. So we made a trade earlier. I traded him Kevin Shattenkirk and Max Pacioretty for Sergei Bobrovsky, right?
Uh-huh. Yep.
So literally we made the trade, and the next day Shattenkirk went out.
Like the next morning.
Yeah, and I was like, I had no idea.
For the year.
I'm sorry.
It's like Shattenkirk out for the year.
I was like, sorry, I had no idea. So then the goalies were getting
the
goalies were getting better. So I thought this one Crawford was skating. I thought, okay, Crawford's coming back, and I was like, I'm gonna do a deal back. So I got I traded him McAvoy and Bobrovsky back for Bergeron, basically.
Yeah.
And I was
a throw in. Yeah.
And a throw in. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. I got fucking Bergeron. He's great. The Bruins are gonna play a lot down the stretch. And then he breaks his foot. And then Matt Murray goes out. Crawford probably isn't going to come back. And I'm just like, I've got Carter Hutton as my goalie. And I've got
that's brutal.
Yeah, and whoever the Penguins were starting, I was trying to pick them up as they went. Oh yeah. I'm going to the playoffs really fucking beat up.
Do you recommend carrying 3 goalies into the playoffs? Or do you generally carry 2?
Who are your goalies?
Bobrovsky and I've got 2 really solid dudes. I don't remember the other dude's name.
If you got 2 solid dudes, unless you know they're not good, like one of them's not going to play for then they got 1 or 2 games in a week.
Right.
You should look ahead. I would keep the other goalie just to do it, but you should be okay. Every time I've had 2 good goalies, I just kept it like that, and it was fine. but it's fucking god damn it. So pissed. I was like
literally limping into the playoffs.
I was like, I got first and I was like, I'm rolling now, baby. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh. So, but that's all right.
So do you think
I mean, I won
truest selves? Can you be less emotional about fantasy than the real team? I mean, we know you're not supposed to be, but
I am way more emotional about fantasy than I am about the real team.
yeah, I mean, you don't want to be, but when you're fantasy,
I'm like,
when Broncos can lose
well,
and your fantasy football team crushes, you're like, hey, you know, that's
exactly
what
what I
it
was.
goes.
I had I was killing it. I had Deshaun
Sucks.
Watson, and he was good for almost 40 points. 40 points a week.
he was racking it
And
up.
then he got hurt, and I was like, my season's over.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I had Blake Bortles, so I mean, I
He-
withstood her a little bit, a good year.
yeah,
but
good
I-
second half.
I am like, once this happened, I was just livid. And then Bowling's dad whipped my ass that week, and I was so pissed because he got all these like fluky categories, and I was so angry. And Ryan knows that I'm angry about it. And then so his dad picked up the other Penguins goal. He doesn't need a goal. He's got 4 goalies. He picked up the other Penguins backup goalie because he knew it just pissed me off. And I was like, son of a bitch. So that's all right. That's all right. I mean, I did win 3 fantasy football titles this year and an MFL 10, right?
You
guys-
won the MFL 10
Fuck
too?
yeah, I did.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So don't.
I was so far out of it, I didn't even know who won.
All right, I won.
Like, I got
How much did you
destroyed.
win total?
like $450, $60. Yeah, it was awesome.
Did you buy something good?
Yes. I don't remember if I
Put it
did.
towards bills.
That just went.
Yeah, just
somewhere. It got taken away quickly. Yeah. I think I squirreled away enough so I could pay all my league fees next year,
Yeah,
and then the rest of it just took off.
See,
So
I was in a big money league, which is done now because my wife figured out how much I paid to get in it. But the commissioner, I guess he used to have a fucking coke problem, and he
Jesus.
fell off the wagon. He skipped town, spent the money, all this shit.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
But
a fucking nightmare.
He came back as the guy I work with, and I don't know what arrangements he made, but we all got paid. But for a while there, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? But that stress level was like
jeez.
through the roof.
Yeah, I heard about a local media $10,000 winner take all league.
Whoa.
No second and third.
No, winner takes all.
Woo.
Jeez, that's a lot of pressure.
That's
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, it's a 12-team league, so
Oh, my
10 grand.
10 grand,
Each?
it's $120,000.
Oh my God.
I think I'd just
Tax
fall over and
consequences
die
of
if I was in
that.
that league.
Oh, man, could we
But
go?
you figure that might almost be easier because people might just give up early if they're just, if they lose a Watson or something like that happens. Like they may not be as hungry on the waiver wire. I mean,
Not me.
I know.
I'm fucking digging
I'm
that
too
out.
Not this kid. I'm
You
digging
guys,
out.
you guys got it worked out.
Yeah.
All right,
So
we,
okay, I got to do a read and then
All right, we're
Just a
coming
sec.
back.
and then the questions.
We got to get in our
Okay,
fantasy
so I'm
hockey
gonna
talk.
unmute all you guys.
That's
Yep.
the usual.
That's better.
There we go.
Unmuted and it feels so good.
Are you guys ready?
Questions queued
Unmuted
up.
and it's understood.
I'm ready if you are.
Yeah, I can hear myself in my phones. I'm unmuted.
Hit it.
Ho, ho, ho! Mutiny Information Cafe right at the corner of Ellsworth and Broadway. Longtime sponsor of the Fancast and a great place to go for yourself or a special gift for somebody you love. Grab yourself an iced coffee. They make the ice cubes out of coffee. It makes perfect sense, and it makes perfect sense for you to visit Mutiny Information Cafe. It's a bookstore. It's a record store. It's a comic book store, and it's uniquely Denver. It's not new Denver. It's old Denver. And when you stop in, please tell them the South Stand sent you. When Vance Joseph was sent to Indianapolis to evaluate some talent, did he think they were talking about football players? When he arrived at the combine facility, did he immediately ask where the hot tubs were? Did he call Mayor Hancock yesterday to offer his empathy? That was good. You guys may not have gotten it, but it was good.
Sympathy.
Did he empathy, sympathy?
He would feel
Empathy, but he would express sympathy.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
Sure.
Does he
Start the
always
show over. Let's start the show over.
Does he always look so confused because even he can't believe he wasn't fired? Does Vance Joseph get angry when the media refers to him as Denver's walking coaching vacancy? Will Kirk Cousins hold out to sign wherever he feels he has the best chance to win $150 million? Since Larry Eustace didn't stay in Fort Collins, will he look for work in St. Louis or Milwaukee or Lynchburg, Tennessee, or maybe Latrobe, Pennsylvania? Can the Avalanche count on Siemens to fill up the back end? Did the announcement by a major sporting goods retailer that it would no longer offer assault rifles lead to the most mentions of dicks on Twitter since Brett Favre? Having lost to Alan Roach in the vote to become the voice of the DIA train, will Vic Lombardi settle for being the voice of the choo-choo at Lakeside? You have questions. We have answers. SouthStandsDenver.com, Colorado's finest internet sports talk since 1971.
Shake your butt.
I'm shaking mine.
I'm shaking mine.
My butt's shaking. John's butt's just spewing vapor.
Yeah. I love you. Yeah. It's a good song. Very, very good classic. Let me just say, Vic Lombardi styles himself as the Italian sports guy around here, but I really think we got the Italian sports guy right here. This is Notre Dame sports guy. He loves it. I tried to give Vic Lombardi some of my Notre Dame stuff, and he just kind of was like, like I think I tried to give him this hat.
Can I have it? Can I have the hat, please? Please.
Yes, you can have the hat.
Yes.
I'll give it to
Oh,
you later.
wow.
I'll give it to you later because I rarely wear it.
Lombardi's going to regret this.
Don't sell it on eBay.
I promise I won't.
This is a classic. This is a classic 80s Notre Dame trucker hat. Yeah, and I had some cool sweats and stuff. And
Well, now, when you want to talk about logos that are racially insensitive, the fighting Irish, come on, man.
it's white people.
It's like the greasy Italians.
Well, that's the thing. It was like
well, if it's true.
yeah, exactly. You got but then you got the white guy be like, whoa, the fighting Irish, that's pretty offensive. So why can't I have the Indian with the big teeth and the fucking go woo? You know what I mean?
I always like the Albuquerque wetbacks. I wish that were actually a thing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the person who thinks that the Notre Dame mascot is offensive would say that they should have that. But it's the whole thing. It's kind of like well, the Irish maybe back 200 years ago maybe they would have maybe somebody would have objected to it because when they were actually marginalized. But now that's not really a thing. So it's kind of like
It's my favorite false equivalency.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my favorite one.
Oh yeah, it's crazy, and so I mean, I totally get why people get offended by logos. And if you are a Native American and you see this goofy fucking Indian staring at you, I can see why you would be like, hey, I don't like that. Totally get it. And if enough people are like, hey, this is kind of bullshit, then move on from it.
I love false equivalencies. They're the best.
I do too.
These same kids who are eating Tide Pods want to tell me what I can do with my guns.
Exactly.
Well,
good
you hear
shit.
that they're killing the same amount of people.
No, that's right. That's right. 17 kids in Florida dead last week for eating Tide Pods.
But I think like if you take an Indian logo, a Native American logo, and I think the Blackhawks logo, while some people find that offensive, I think it's a nice
I
logo.
love the Blackhawks.
Yeah, it's nice, and it's not a. You like Blackhawks?
I love the Blackhawks.
And it's not. I don't find a problem with that. I think what is like FSU uses like the kind
Seminole,
of spear,
the
the
Seminoles.
Seminoles, and they have a relationship with the Seminole Indians and this and that. And I think that is a part of our culture. We're kind of going back to the Boone thing. You can't just erase the fucking the
Sure.
Indians. You can't erase them from history and say that
Any more than the Cowboys.
That's more of the thing I think that you always bring up, Colin. Is it's almost more racist to do it because you're like, let's forget all about these people. Let's forget that they wore and they still do wear these wonderful headdresses and stuff like that. And it just seems like, if it's not an offensive thing, if it's not like the Chief Wahoo, is that his name, Chief Wahoo? Isn't that the name of the
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
Chief
right.
Wahoo. As long as it's not like a Chief Wahoo looking thing, or the team is actually called like something offensive, like the Redskins, then it should be fine.
Yeah, Chief Wahoo's pretty bad. It's kind of like if there were a team called the Mammies and the mascot were a guy in all blackface with giant bright eyes.
Exactly. Yeah, like the Sambo that you see, the little Sambo. If they
remember when there was Sambo restaurant?
I do
Sambo's
remember that,
restaurant.
Yeah. You guys are you're way too young. But yeah, Sambo restaurants. You'd travel around the country and you'd go into a Sambo's, and it was like,
wow.
Yeah, I know.
that existed like for reals.
Well, I was thinking that reminded me about Ty Sambrilo, whose Twitter name was Ty Sambo or Sambo something, and I was like, that's kind of a racist thing, And people didn't understand it because they didn't know what Sambo was. They had no idea because it's so old. It's an old school racist thing. But us old guys that have eaten the hotcakes at Sambo's, we know for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard my dad use that phrase.
Really?
That term a couple times.
That's not good.
Back in the day.
But I did want to talk Broncos really quick. And
Broncos?
I want to talk Broncos real quick because, yeah, exactly.
There is no off season.
I know. We haven't talked Broncos in a long time because I like to take a break now. I like to take maybe a break.
They were break worthy.
Yeah, exactly. But they had, Elway was speaking today and Vance Joseph, and whatever Joseph was saying, it just struck me. I was like, I have no confidence in this guy. Everything he says seems like he doesn't exactly know what's going on, and him commenting on players real vaguely. I was like, this guy doesn't know shit, and it's becoming much more obvious that he is nothing but like a placeholder for Elway just to tell him, hey, don't fuck up in the fourth quarter. And that's all he's there to do is just not fuck up. I don't think he has a grasp of anything. And I have no, I think you have the same feelings. I have no confidence going forward.
No. And I saw some video of the new Raiders coach, John Gruden, I guess is his name.
Yep.
Heard of him. And I saw completely the opposite. I was just like, this is a guy who's completely in control. Now Elway looked completely in control today. I liked what he had to say, but it was interesting. There was a clip I listened to this morning from the Schlereth and Evans show this morning on 104.3 The Fan, and Mark Schlereth tore into Vance Joseph for answering a reporter's question dismissively, and the reporter was like, basically, what do you have to do differently this coming year? And he goes, and dismissive laughter. We got to win more games.
Yeah, shit, idiot.
Yeah, and what Schlereth said was, no, you don't get to be Belichickian at all. You don't get to treat the media that way. You have not earned that privilege, and it made Schlereth was pissed. He's just like, who are you? How dare you treat the media that way and talk down to people and give non-answers to questions? You're not qualified for that, and I feel the same way. And every time I hear any kind of soundbite from him, anytime I read a quote, my heart just sinks. I'm like, it doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter if it's Kirk Cousins. It doesn't matter if it's Baker Mayfield. It doesn't matter what they do in the draft. It doesn't matter if they get Saquon Barkley. None of it matters until after Vance Joseph is gone, because they're not going to do anything until he's gone.
I do like the media guys who have nothing to lose and they don't give a fuck, like Mark Schlereth, who's obviously has a lot of money and has other jobs.
Yeah, fire me.
And he's like, go fire me. I'll go mow my lawn.
I'll buy this station tomorrow and fire you.
I like that because they won't be afraid to fire away. But I think, and I just thought of this analogy to bring in Bronco Jeff a little bit here, and we do appreciate you being in here, Jeff.
Thank you so much.
Sure. And so it'd be like if we had to have a press conference, okay, for the show, and I was like, well, I'm not going out there. And Colin's like, I'm not going out there. So we send Jeff out, who's been here twice now. And Jeff has to go answer all the questions when he's like, kind of
like the Trump administration.
Exactly. So, but that's how he's answering questions of someone who's kind of like, I kind of know what's going on, maybe, and that's what I get from him. It's just kind of like, he's like an errand boy. He's not doing anything.
And then he's an arrogant errand boy and one with a sexual assault past right here in Colorado.
Well,
that's
awesome.
Too, yeah. That's awesome. Way to go. So you just brought me directly to our Moran of the week in honor of Scottish Al Moran on Twitter.
Scottish Al in Ireland Moran.
Right.
Yeah, got
not Irish.
Not Irish Al. Scottish Al.
I always get confused about that, and of course, he gets very offended. That's like calling a Bosnian a Serb.
Oh yeah,
it's just
even worse. Yeah, even worse.
That's why Nikola Jokic didn't get along with that.
I'm sure it had something to do
Bosnians
with it. It's almost like thinking that I would have a 719 area code when I really have a 303. So
Why would you have a
I don't know.
7-1?
Man.
There you
Like
go.
bullshit. Or like a 7-2-0. Oh my god! You imagine having a 7-2-0?
Newcomer.
Jesus.
Why don't you go? Why don't you go rent something? Why don't you go rent a condo?
Yeah, that's very close to it. So
God. Our Moran of the week this week is Mike Jeffcoat, the head baseball coach at Texas Wesleyan University, and he sent an email today, and our mutual friend DMAC tweeted out the email that he sent to a local recruit, and apparently quite a good baseball player from right here in Colorado. And
Jake Shapiro.
It was Jake Shapiro.
Is it Jake Shapiro?
Yeah. Taller, actually. It's tall. It's somebody taller than that.
That could be anybody.
Jeff Cote wrote, thanks for your interest in our program. Unfortunately, we are not recruiting players from the state of Colorado. In the past, players have had trouble passing our drug test. We have to make a decision not to take a chance on student athletes from your state. You can thank the liberal politicians. Best of luck wherever you decide to play. Now, the university has responded and said that this is a personal matter currently under investigation. Our university does not discuss personal matters, but we wanted to reiterate that this email does not reflect our values and we do not condone discrimination.
Yeah,
so
that's
once again, DMAC has gone viral with one of his tweets. Deadspin had it, 9 News, 7 News, 4 News, and it'll be a national story in the morning.
That is outrageous for that guy to say that.
It's hilarious.
And it's
also hilarious.
Also hilarious.
Mostly hilarious.
I mean, I think you could get away. I think you could get away with the pot thing and maybe play it off as well. That's kind of a joke. But then when he throws in the liberal politicians, that part,
it's pretty clear. Yeah.
Yeah, that's you know exactly where that jackass.
Well, and I wonder if he's aware that currently marijuana legalization is on the table in the great state of Texas,
and they're all about freedom down there in Texas. So
yes.
You know they don't want the government coming.
Get high, get loaded, and load your weapon.
Absolutely. They love their guns down there. They probably have less problems with their guns because they're so used to having them around. But that's outrageous. It's totally unfair to that kid. But that kid is probably far better off than he'd go and play for that fucking douchebag. So it's almost nice that he revealed himself and said, you know, I'm a huge cunt, and you don't want to play for me anyway. So
speaking of which, not huge cunts, but my son, who has not played baseball since Fast Pitch Little League, just announced yesterday that he needs a physical. I need to schedule a doctor's appointment because he's going to high school baseball tryouts.
Oh, wow.
So I'm excited on the one hand, but also really scared because I don't think it's going to go well.
Well, but he's kind of a big kid, right?
He's a strapping lad.
He's a big kid.
He's over 6 feet tall.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a baseball player, right? He kind of has that maybe.
Yeah, looking like a baseball player does not really help you swing it back.
I look like what's his name? Plays for the Dodgers.
Justin Turner.
Justin Turner. Yeah, I look like Justin Turner. Doesn't mean I play like him.
In 8th grade, he could swing a bat pretty well, and he hit the ball with the bat on occasion, and it was great. It was a great period in my life. I mean, Little League was one of my favorite things I've ever not done.
That's when I peaked.
Yeah, I watched him. I mean, I never played myself, but going down to the park and watching him all the time and being a part of that was something that I really, really treasured. So I would love it if he made the high school baseball team, but I'm very leery about it.
Yeah, and I think my oldest is kind of the same way. It's kind of like has no interest in it, but one day he's going to wake up and go, I want to do this, and I'm like, you should have been swinging a bat this whole fucking time because it's gonna come a lot faster, and everyone else is gonna have a lot more practice than you. So, but you never know. Maybe he'll just take to it. All those guys are always like, yeah, he never played football at all until fucking he was in college, and someone said, hey, come play offensive line, and all of a sudden they're a football player. So
they usually make movies about.
They do. They make movies about those guys.
It usually helps when you're 6'10", 350 pounds.
Absolutely.
Usually.
Well, that's what my wife's like. Oh, these kids aren't going to play football, and she's like, oh yeah, they're not athletic inclined. And I said, if one of them's 6'5" and 235 pounds, he's probably going to be able to. Someone might pay him to, or give him a scholarship to go run out there and catch a ball. If you're big enough and you're fast enough, somebody might take a chance.
Someone's going to take a chance.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a place for a guy like that.
Absolutely.
Speaking of my kids, there was one other thing I wanted to talk about this week.
And then we'll take a break.
I've never had either of them I have 2 kids. One's a 16-year-old male boy. I think that's his gender. It's hard to say these days. And my daughter is 11. And between the 2 of them, I've been to 100 sporting events, ticketed sporting events, give or take. And for the very first time ever, out of all of those experiences, I had a unique experience 2 days ago, or no, Sunday. Yeah, that was 2 days ago, at the Houston Rockets Denver Nuggets game, in that my daughter was watching the game more closely than I was. She was more locked in on what was going on than I was. She was she was cheering. She knew the names of the starting players. It was the very first time this has happened. Like, we've been to many Nuggets games this year. And she said to me, Dad, the Rockets keep falling down on purpose to get penalties against us. And I was like, yeah, I know.
Yes.
Oh my God, I can't believe that you made that observation.
Welcome
like,
to the wonderful world of the NBA, dog.
Yeah, exactly. I was like,
It's a rite of passage.
exactly. It was like I carried her over the threshold to sports fandom, and it was a glorious feeling. And I have a friend who works at KSE who sends me tickets on my phone from time to time, frequently, to just go on down with them. It's usually like they're unsold tickets that at kind of the last minute he sends me down there. So I've taken her to probably a dozen home Nuggets games this year, and watching her lock in and get it and know what she's seeing and say the names Will Barton and Gary Harris, and it was really, really cool, man. It was really, really cool. Any parent who's taken kids to sporting events, I think, wants to have that experience at some point where they're not just worried about the Dippin' Dots and chanting cargo, cargo, too low. Either way, but
Both of them are wrong.
Yeah, neither one.
But actually
Well,
understanding it was really
no,
cool.
that's a good thing, because my kids are only into the Dippin' Dots. They don't give a shit about the baseball game when they go. They only want to eat, and they want to go early. They want to take off. 7th inning rolls around. They're like, "Hey, what do you think, huh? I'd like to get back to that iPad." And I'm like, "Well, I dragged everyone down here, so for the fucking day. So we're gonna sit here till the end." But that's a good thing. I wish they were more in tune with it. Maybe they will be. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I was like into it as a kid, and because my dad was like into baseball and stuff like that. He really liked college football, and I just that's all we really watched.
Never really rubbed off on you.
No,
That
it
apple
didn't.
doesn't fall far from the tree.
That's right. Yeah, but that didn't really do anything for me.
That apple fell in the next county.
But then after that, I wasn't really into it until later. And it would be nice to have that. So you got a good thing going there. So that's excellent. I do want to say real quick before we take a break, you were talking about sporting events. Just 2 years ago was the anniversary, just the other day, of the outdoor game at Coors Field. And
that was so much fun.
It was so much fun. It was great. Did you go?
We ran into Snoop
yeah,
Cow, didn't we, at that? I think we ran into some folks. I thought it was maybe Snoop Cow was the right.
There was some drunken people there. It was a good time. But I wrote a thing about it, and I was wondering, why haven't they announced another one? It's been 2 years. Now, I understand they're not going to do it every year. That's fine. I get that. They move it around, and it's like the Blackhawks get one a year or whatever. But then they usually go somewhere to have it. But it was such a success. It was a success, and you'd think that they'd be like, hey, 2 years from now, let's do another one. Outdoor game would be great. And it's got to be a big money maker for the Monforts. It's got to do well for the Avs. Why don't they do another one?
Let's not forget that the week before that, Coors Field drew over 35,000 people for the DU.
For DU.
Game.
Yep, that's right.
There were 35,000. It was the biggest college hockey game in the state, and I want to say close to the country. I mean,
ever.
Like ever. I'm not. I don't know the exact numbers on the national college hockey front there, but it's up there. It's got to be top 5. I mean, 35,000 people showed up for a college hockey game, and it was damn near sold out if it wasn't sold out for the Avs game. So I went to that game as well, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I mean,
it was great.
The NHL game and the college game was amazing, even though CC is god awful.
And like I said, if you maybe if you did it immediately the next year, people might be like, I don't want to drag myself out there. It's kind of expensive. 2 years now. It's been 2 years. Like, I'm thinking, man, that would have been fun to go to last week or whenever it was. Well, maybe not last week. It was fucking cold as shit. But it was nice weather. Remember, it was super nice weather.
Great.
And I just don't know why they haven't done it. I do know the NHL is fucking full of shit.
That's what I was
The
about to
NHL is
say.
full of shit.
Yeah,
They don't
it's
know
all the
shit.
NHL.
So, well, we could talk about the NHL being full of shit all night, but we won't. We're going to get into the second half, and we will talk some Rockies. I promise. We're going to get some Rockies going here very soon. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Muted. You're muted.
DUCC game out there was incredible. It was,
Couldn't see
Co-
shit. at
college-
that game was the problem.
College game, alumni game, NHL game.
all of it.
Boom, boom, boom.
The alumni game was honestly of the
Yeah,
three,
that was
the
cool.
alumni game was the best one.
Yeah. I kind of wish I'd gone to that one.
So at the Avs games, do they discontinue beer sales in the third period?
I think near the
Because
end.
at DU, I mean, you can get a triple whiskey on ice with like 5 seconds left on the clock. That's another. I was going to say, at the,
Yeah, they don't
at the
stop
college
selling.
game, did they sell beer all the way to the final whistle?
Oh, the drunkest I've ever been is at a game when I was a student. That was.
Yeah, I
I
remember.
was
my wife
double
and
fisting
I-
before the game, double fisting after the first period.
I was gonna say, if you were that
Yeah.
wasted at a sporting event, you would drink in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Because you can't afford. I mean, that's part of the reason it's so expensive, is they don't want you to be able to afford to get
Exactly.
hammered.
Exactly.
If you got hammered, it would cost you $100.
We were
Sure.
going to a DU game years ago when my wife and I were first dating. And we drank a 6-pack of like some strong seasonal beer, like in the car on the way over there, like oh shit, we just got a pound. Then we got in there and didn't realize they were selling booze, and they sold it up till the end. Like we
Yeah,
had
they
a
don't
cab
stop.
home, like we were,
It's
annihilated.
amazing. I mean, they have to get people there. I mean, right now attendance isn't an issue when you just won a national title.
Right.
But attendance at times has been an issue when everyone knows they're going to be out in the first or second round. Like it's been a problem in the past, but now it's man. I mean, covering the team, that's the one drawback of covering the team. I can't go down and drink. So I got to
that is a
be
problem.
coherent talking to players
Yeah.
and coaches.
They're like, "Hey, is that whiskey on your breath? Oh, no.
Scotch in your hand? That's a little-
Well, drinking with coaches is fun. I will say.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I would try
That's
and
the
get them
best.
as drunk as possible, just so they start running their mouth.
Oh, there are stories I can't say while we're being
Yeah.
recorded.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, so now Ryan Bowling is responding to my accusations.
Good.
Yeah, he needs to respond. I said, the very dishonest and low-rated team of R. Bowling and his father are colluding to make sure I don't win yet another fantasy hockey championship. Witch hunt. And then Chris Bianchi was chiming in because he thought that was funny. And then you heard me, Bowling. I know what you guys are up to. Bunch of crap.
You're not fooling him.
You gotta give me the Hillary Clinton special to keep me out. You gotta try to cheat.
I just saw Schler's tweet about the
Yeah,
Avs.
I
Who
get-
gives a rip?
Yeah.
What's the score?
2-0 Flames.
Hartley.
2-0
Is Hartley
Flames?
still a coach?
No.
How long ago did he leave?
A couple years
A
ago.
couple? What's he doing now?
I don't know what he's doing. I don't think.
Consulting somewhere?
Yeah, I don't think he's even
Some
on a
GQ
team.
model, cover model, fashion suit model.
2-0. Who scored for Calgary? I thought this was going to go the other way. And
Unfortunately, I think the Avs are going to fade here.
Oh,
towards the
yeah.
end. It sucks. Next year, they're going to be so good.
I know they're like the Rockies. They're just in a
Yeah.
fucking good division.
Whatever, but the thing is, like, whatever they do from here, it's just a plus. Like with the Avs, like, I was expecting a 70-point season, and
That's kind of the thing. Is like I
After-
don't
after
know
how-
shit
listen,
about
I had
hockey,
20-game plan last year. That was the worst investment I've ever made.
but like the
I know
last, like,
somebody did that too, and they were so pissed.
no, it's
And
not
then my rep called me after the season. He's like, "Oh, do you want to renew?" I'm like, "Did you watch the game?"
You should pay me.
Like,
Yeah,
Wasp
I'd like
first
my
year,
money
we
back,
thought they were
quite
gonna be
honestly.
bad. They're
Yeah.
like when you think they're going to be good, they're bad. When you think they're going to be bad, they're good. So it's hard to pin them down. I mean, 2
Oh, I
years
feel
ago-
like you like to think that next year they're going to make that jump, especially with only McKinnon leading that instead of.
Well, here's what's nice, and you said they're playing such a good division, which is true. But all those teams are all they're all spending and going for it right now. So they're all going to fall off around the same time, like the Blackhawks have done. And hopefully the Avs will just keep climbing, and they'll have all those guys will fall off, and then they'll fucking have their shot. I think that's generally how it goes. But I just want the Blackhawks to stay bad for a little while longer. It'd be nice.
I would love it if the Blackhawks went the route of the Cubs and just were bad for the next 112.
That'd be awesome.
That would be ideal.
Yeah, it'd be great.
I know. I fucking hate that shit. It's like everyone was complaining about, California this and that. Watch out, everyone's moving out here, and it's like they're looking west, and the East Coast is just flooding in through the back door. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, 3 out of 4 new people you meet, I'm from Chicago. I mean,
Oh yeah, Michigan.
Oh, that was like a DU.
yeah,
You turn left, it's Minnesota or it's Chicago.
Yeah.
No matter what, without fail.
All right, so I was rolling out Carter Hutton again, and he had a shutout going, but then they ended up losing 2-1. I mean, they won 2-1, so at least got that.
I wanted to get in a happy birthday John Elway before.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I got to get that in.
Do you guys remember when he was just referred to as Biff?
Oh yeah.
That's all my dad's ever called him. Biff.
Yeah, I remember Biff.
I mean,
That's great.
a lot of years before, he had the universal respect.
Oh, he was not well liked.
No, at most 50% of the people here liked him, and no one anywhere else liked him at all.
Well, I mean, a lot of people hated him here, and I remember people just ragging on him, and
all the time. But how sweet was it though? Your boyhood hero fucking makes good at the end of his career.
Super Bowl 32
so
is one of the
much
greatest
shit.
moments of my entire life.
So my dad never been a football fan. He'll even make excuses for LA, even when he was bad or when things were going well. It's like he never had an offensive line. He was running for his life the whole time. I was like, you hate football and you're making excuses for LA.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's what we've seen that's what sports fans do, is that they settle in on somebody and they're like, dude can do no wrong. Trevor Siemian.
I'm that way with Ivanka Trump.
Yeah.
Don't talk no shit about Ivanka Trump. Not on my timeline. I'm gonna get mad.
Yeah, you defend Ivanka, don't
Not
you?
bad.
You're like, how dare they ask about her father grabbing women's pussies? How dare they?
How dare they? She's so beautiful. Just leave her alone.
You know what? The worst thing these fucking people did was win that election, because they could have just kept doing their thing, and everyone would have thought. Everyone just thought, oh yeah, that these rich people that they make a lot of money and they're very glamorous. But now everyone just knows them as these fucking scumbags.
And McKinnon scored 2-1
Oh, did he?
Nice.
power play goal.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucked that he's
Who got
president.
this?
But I was thinking about that, if he would have lost.
I don't have McKinnon, but I've got
election,
Barry and
he would
Landeskog.
have-
So
He might have had a fucking bigger following. People are
I don't know about that. I don't know about bigger following.
Yeah, but
He'd definitely be on TV. a
Landeskog
lot.
Barry.
yes, take that, Ryan Bolden.
so are we going sports after your next read?
Yep.
All right, let me cue that.
You got
shit
it.
up.
Do you know the deal with
Woo!
sports?
I listened to last week's episode. Yes.
Okay.
That was the long cut.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Did you get the abbreviated cut from Scott?
I didn't get it from Scott, but I had one made.
Oh, nice.
I have the actual.
So it's the only difference.
I
is
have
the- Oh, you do?
Yeah, I have the real one. I made it years
Okay.
and years ago. So if you need the actual one, I have.
Yeah, I'd love to have it. I don't want to.
So you wasted all the work.
I didn't. It's actually my older brother.
2-2.
Audio.
Oh, who scored?
whiz.
I don't know, because my
Twitter?
buddy Snyder's watching this and he's updating me.
Let's go abs. My abs.
My ass.
Your Broncos. My abs. My Rockies.
Oh, the fucking the Yahoo app isn't even caught up.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a notification yet.
I'm not crazy about red wheels.
Nikita Zadorov.
Wow. Holy shit.
That must
God,
be
you guys are nerds.
No, man. You gotta
Gotta get into it.
Yeah, you gotta. Honestly, though, fantasy is fantasy for me. Like I have to have a fantasy interest, because it's like I've described it as like the person who has to wrap a quarter on their neck to get a hard on to beat off to, and I have to have a fantasy rooting interest. That's why I'm watching the fucking Golden Knights last night. I was like, I'm watching the Golden Knights, going, oh god, Marchessault needs to get a fucking shorthanded goal.
How
here.
did they put such a good team together so fast?
I don't know. I mean,
They must have a really good GM.
and they got a good coach too. So
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah, that front office is doing a lot of good things. Got to give them credit. So far.
Crazy.
Yeah, I did
So
that
far.
with baseball years ago. I was like, I just want to know more of the guys on the roster. So I started playing fantasy.
And that
within like
helped.
a month, I fucking knew.
Oh, yeah, you got to know. You got to go. Well, who's the middle reliever for the fucking
Yeah,
Marlins?
baseball is the hardest fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
It's
one wins that
absolutely
last.
the hardest.
Let's talk a little baseball, huh? We can talk a little. We can talk a little. I want to talk a little fantasy too.
Let's talk some baseball.
We're talking some baseball.
I'm always down for that.
Well, I want to talk fantasy baseball.
I'm down for fantasy
Let's
baseball.
let's get Nick to
Yeah.
give us some fantasy
Back
sleepers.
into it.
Do you play
Fantasy,
fantasy?
oh god, I gotta think about this one.
Do you
now.
play fantasy baseball?
I do.
Okay.
Oh man.
I wish I would have known. I had a spot in our league, but
Ah shit. Oh, well.
It says 12 or 14 on the.
I don't want to go more than
No.
12. Yeah. So,
I hear it.
but
Especially this year with all the
James
games.
Hernandez, he got a hold of me and said, I'm going to play. And I said, okay, I just want to make sure. So he's going to play. I didn't know if he was going to do it. But I kicked Adam Kinney to the curb. I was like, you're not
Fuck
going to
Adam
fucking. Yeah, everyone else will probably.
I mean, I
play.
love the guy, but fuck him.
Yeah.
As a fantasy player, fuck him.
Yeah, so Jeff took his place.
Just the worst
Nice.
non-lineup setting fucking piece of shit.
Oh,
All right,
I hate that.
Uh,
Oh, dude.
hate that.
Don't get me started.
So if I
It's the
unmute
worst.
now,
You're gonna
are we
fucking
gonna-
You're good,
sign
yeah,
out.
I'm not
Yeah,
recording,
sure.
so-
Yeah, cool.
And we can hear my silky voice.
Oh man, it is beautiful.
Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Please.
Yeah, I've listened to Stern over the years, and I had satellite radio on and off, and so I got it again, and for a while. So I've been listening, and I don't know if you listened to Stern at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Ronnie the limo driver,
Uh-huh.
that guy is so gross, and when he does this thing, he's like talking about what he's gonna do to the chicks, and it's my skin fucking
God,
crawls.
no.
It's so gross.
Oh,
They have the grossest people on there, and it's like oh.
god.
He's like talking about, I'm gonna spread your ass cheeks.
Oh.
Look at your ass. And I'm just like, and this guy is just like this old dude, and it's just so gross. But that's part of the
Do you remember what Howard Stern said after Columbine?
yes. And I said to this guy, there's a guy I follow. He's kind of got tons of followers. He doesn't know me, but he made a point. He goes, imagine if you go back in time and sat yourself down and told them the Columbine survivors were, now they're going to be criticized after being in a mass shooting. And he made the point and I said, I'm from Denver, and if that happened here, people would have to leave town. And I said, Howard Stern got kicked off the air because he said like some girl was hot running from the thing.
No. He said, why did they waste all that perfectly good 17-year-old pussy? And then
I don't know if he said that. I didn't say that.
He said, if at least rape them first.
No.
Yes, he did.
Say
Yes,
that.
he did.
I don't
Look it
remember him
up.
saying. I remember him saying like a girl was hot while she was running from the school.
No. He said, why would you waste all that perfectly good 17-year-old pussy?
That
Oh,
doesn't even
God.
sound like something he'd say. I mean, kind of.
Exactly
but-
what he said. Yeah.
Or I'm gonna
At
look it
least rape them first. I believe that's a direct quote.
Oh,
up. I'm gonna look that up. I think
Oh,
that's.
God.
Yeah, he was banned from the airwaves in Denver the next day.
I was pretty sure I was still watching Barney when that happened.
Yeah.
So-
Good. We don't want you watching that.
I went down to Clement Park and cried like everybody else.
Yeah. I mean,
I was in the Lions lair, and I walked in the Lions lair, and somebody's like, "Fuck, do you see this?" And I was like, "Oh shit."
That was in the middle of the afternoon. What were you doing at the Lions?
Nothing. Actually, I was dropping papers off. I
Okay.
was dropping papers.
Dropping off hooligans?
Yeah, I was dropping papers off, and they had it on the TV, and so. All right.
We're talking about
Yeah,
like,
you know,
were they going to level the school after that? It was like.
Oh, yeah.
so
Now they just
big.
fucking be like, "Hey, let's put a Chick-fil-A in here and make everyone happy
Reach
again."
out, Yeah.
So we got. What are you going back with? A read music. Okay. Are you ready? And you're ready. And you're ready.
I'm not playing music now. I'm
Not
just
till
doing-
after.
I'm doing sports after you say it's 1971.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Okay. I have
Sounds
sports
all
queued
right.
up.
Okay.
And
right.
it won't be 1971. That was the question.
Oh, okay. So
I'll just cue you.
Just point to.
yeah,
them.
yeah.
I'll
Just
just
let me
point
know.
at you.
Just
All right. You ready?
Yep. Now is the time to save for a membership at bsndenver.com. Avalanche fans, where are you going to get Adrian Dater? bsndenver.com. Who's the best Avs writer? Who was the Avs writer covering the Avs the year they came to Colorado? Adrian Dater. bsndenver.com. Definitely a hit with the Avalanche fans and soon to be a hit with the Rockies fans as well. Drew Kreisman and Ben Shapiro. Not Ben Shapiro. The other Shapiro, Jake Shapiro, are there right now in Scottsdale covering spring training. They'll be there the whole time, presumably staying in an Airbnb. And if you want the coverage, you're going to become a subscriber at bsndenver.com. There are deals to be had right now. No more deals after tomorrow. So tomorrow is your last chance to get the deals. Sign up. Please, in the comments area when you sign up, tell bsndenver.com that the South Stands sent you. Yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo!
Whoa!
Sports! 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 Sports!
Sports.
Sports.
Wow, okay, that was a different one.
That was different.
Yeah,
I didn't even know when to say
That's
sports.
the Bronco
but-
Jeff mix.
The Bronco Jeff
Bronco
remix.
Jeff
It is
remix.
a show about sports. I mean, like 10% sports.
It is.
Guaranteed.
The gun control show is later. We're going to record
That's
that
right.
after hours and do that a little bit
We'll
later.
post it on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. They love it on Facebook.
Love it on
They love talking about gun control on Facebook.
Oh, they do. They do. And Trump.
And Trump. Oh, yeah.
Yes, they love Trump.
Yeah. So.
That your buddy Snyder loves the Trump.
Oh, he's watching now. He loves Trump.
He loves
He's
Trump.
watching now. Now he's going to text me and be like, I do not love Trump. That's what he's going to say.
Those are my favorite friends.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, no.
No, he actually
Swear to
doesn't.
God.
He doesn't. We're giving him shit. He fucking hates
It's all he posts about on Facebook.
I believe you, but they're the favorite ones.
Have you noticed that? Just a quick commentary. The late night shows, and I've always been a watcher of late night shows since Johnny Carson. I mean, I love late night comedy shows, and between Colbert and Kimmel and the other Jimmy and the Daily Show and This Week with John Oliver, all of them, it's just like it's Trump commercial.
Of course, because it would have, if when Bill Clinton was in trouble for getting a beach, it was probably all Bill Clinton.
Yeah, Johnny Carson would go, Ed, and then it'd make fun of Ed and do something about golf and something about whiskey and make fun of a celebrity and then, do the golf swing, move on. It was never the same topic for an entire 15-minute segment. And that's, I watch them, mostly I keep up with them on YouTube and I watch these clips of the monologues and everything. And I'm just like, wow, you guys really fell into these jobs at an ideal time.
Exactly like you're saying with Facebook. That's what everybody wants. They want to talk about Trump and vent about Trump or defend Trump, and that's the whole thing. It's like they know
America just wants more Trump.
They either want Trump to keep going or they want him to get shot out of a cannon.
I think what we've done is make America Trump again.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what we've done.
If he survives being president, think about how great business is going to be for him when he's done.
Well, that's
the speaking tours.
Come on.
well, that's the thing. And
The
they
NRA convention.
Well, I'm not sitting here saying defending anything. Because apparently, we all have to double check that. But think about it, the coverage he's gotten. Things are going to be great for him when he's done.
well,
if he survives.
that's why
if he's not assassinated.
that's why my theory is
Or just
that
has a heart attack.
he didn't want to win, and
I definitely don't think.
and he just would have gotten close, and then he could have complained about it, and he would have went on tours and speaking tours, and he would have made even now. That's why he's got to make his money now. He's like, fuck, I'm stuck being the president. All right, let's make some money off this. So, but he's going to run again allegedly. So he's going to try to get in there for longer. But by that time, he's going to be so old. He's I don't know. He's going to go on a long speaking tour. Obama's still a young man.
Lee Iacocca once said that he would never be the president of the United States because when he says jump, he means jump. And basically, in comparing him to Trump, Lee Iacocca doesn't want to just say things. He wants to get things done, and he knows he can't do it that way. And Trump just wants to say things. And he says a lot of things. And, man, his use of Twitter is awesome. It's awesome. As somebody who appreciates the sheer comedy of all of it and the way people respond to him, I love it when people retweet Trump. Like I didn't see that already. It's like retweeting Adam Schefter. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, but you got to if you're not putting your own humorous spin on it, then it's not Then,
Some people don't retweet with comments. They just retweet
that's
it.
bullshit.
That's awesome.
You're either reading it or you don't care.
The good retweets are the ones that they bring up from 2013. 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, those are
good recaps.
Those are gold.
Those are the best recaps.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are awesome. There's always something too.
But I always wonder who's the guy who's digging through hundreds and hundreds of Donald Trump tweets. Back
Why
to
do you can just search for
2013.
it?
It's at ATF. Or
Yeah,
ATF,
he's
13
he's
ATF,
definitely digging through that.
He's
So,
digging.
well, anyone controversial, everyone just goes through it and they can find something for it. So,
Oh my God! Can you imagine what would happen to me if?
oh my God, you'd be fucked. You'd be totally
Do
fucked.
yourself a favor and don't.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't. And that's the whole thing. Everyone's always like, we need somebody that's not a politician and somebody blah blah blah. And it's like that was a great idea, but like you actually have to have somebody who knows how that system works. And he has no idea. He put a bunch of people in there who have no idea, and it's just a huge clusterfuck. You have to have somebody that has some kind of knowledge of how it all works, and they just don't. And I think that's the whole thing. And you can be a great businessman, businesswoman. We're being fair on here. But if you don't know how Washington works and you know how the basics of government work, then you're going to spin your wheels, man.
So I think the question now is, do the Colorado Rockies have a good idea as to how baseball works?
Wow, that's a good segue.
Nice.
That's
good.
a two-wheeled Rent-A-Cop segue, baby. That's what that is. It's good. That is a good point, Colin, and I am looking forward to said Rockies to start, and mainly because this is the last day of February, and February can fuck off.
Fuck off February.
Yeah, fuck off
Fuck
February.
off February, yes.
That's it.
Let's
Fuck
make
off.
that's gonna stick. Fuck off February.
Well, it's too. You can say it tomorrow because then it'll be official. I said, "Get thee behind me, February." Like, get thee behind me, Satan, because that's how I feel about it. Satan. It's ice cold Satan, and I can't stand it. It's a shitty month. I want it. I want
That's
it
why
out
it's
of
so
here.
short.
It's so short because it sucks so bad. March is awesome because you're like, hey, March is great because it's the St. Patrick's Day, 2 weeks away, basically, right? Coming up, which is great. Me being my Irish heritage, don't knock my Irish heritage right here. And it's great. And then you know that after that, then it's going to be April and baseball starts. And then it should, although we'll get hit with a huge blizzard right around that time, it's almost there. We're almost there to warm weather, and we can sail on through the summer.
the boys of summer are back in April.
Oh, the boys are back, baby.
I mean, come on.
It's great. What do you think? You like when the baseball comes back around? You would say now you like your college sports, but would you say the baseball is your fave? Do you like baseball?
Oh, baseball's my sport.
Baseball is your sport.
I'll say this. So the last couple of years, because of what I do with Let's Go DU, I've traveled to the last 2 Frozen Fours. Unfortunately, the Frozen Four coincides with opening day.
Oh.
So the last 2 years, I have not been in town for opening day, and it has broken my heart. And
Broken
especially
your
last
spirit.
year, with there was so much hope last year.
Oh, yeah.
with the team, and so
There's even more hope this year.
exactly, that's my point. Like so I'm selfishly I'm almost hoping DU.
No, come on now.
But no, but at the same time, that's a free trip to St. Paul for me. So it's if DU goes to the Frozen Four, so it's if I could be in 2 places at once, I would absolutely do it. But
Who can pass up a trip to St.
Oh man, in
April.
in April, yeah.
Hey,
But
listen, I'm going out there in a few weeks for the Frozen Face-Off, the NCHC tournament, the conference tournament. So I'm going out there in March.
it's cold as balls there right now. Cold as
Oh,
balls.
man.
Oh,
But
it is.
just think about the hockey chicks, though.
Oh, yeah,
Ow.
absolutely.
They love their hockey.
Opening day is like a holiday, and it should be, and it's going to be great. And you've been to them before; you just haven't been the last couple of years. It's fantastic. It is like the spring awakening. And it's usually pretty good weather. I mean, it could be shitty, but you walk in there and you see the field, you smell the smells, and it's just fantastic.
Well, and one thing I love about opening day, and I have been for the last since my son was in kindergarten, I've missed one, and Dick Monfort's always down there, walking around on the first level, shaking hands. I took a leak in a urinal right next to a leak-taking Dick Monfort, and I remember thinking that's pretty cool that he's not taking a leak in some special private place.
Things are looking up for Dick.
Yeah, that's right. His seats are right. I mean, they're good seats, but his seats are with the peasants.
Yeah.
They're not even.
Wow. Hold on.
They're not even club
The
level.
ex-governor of Colorado sits right there with him. I think they're not peasant seats.
Well, what I'm saying, he's not right behind home plate.
Absolutely.
He's not in the suite.
Yeah, listen, he's sitting right next to any Tom, Dick, or Harry who can afford.
Who got unstuck?
True.
Boy,
Yeah,
like,
I could feasibly sit down next to him and spill my fucking green chili cheese hot dog on him.
And 4
You
years
love
ago,
that Mark
yeah.
Schlereth chili,
Oh,
don't you,
yeah.
on your hot dog?
God bless you, Mark Schlereth. Your green chili is so good, and I can't wait to visit the green chili bar on the club level very soon.
You know, that was like his neighbor's recipe.
It's
And
fantastic.
he took it to market with
It's
his
great
name.
shit. Look
It
at
is awesome.
look
Can
at
you blame him?
That chicken stuff, the chicken
so
one with the
good.
corn in it, I love that
the
stuff.
club level is fantastic. I don't know if you guys have been up there before, but it's fantastic. I don't know if
Carving station.
Carving station.
Carpet bagel.
It's the baked potato bars right there. They've got an actual bar. They've got
They've got a blowjob station. You just walk
it's,
right
it's
up.
fantastic. Just stick it right in, and fucking somebody's. I don't know if it's a robot or what.
Honestly, that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because you don't have to see it. So who cares?
It's whatever you want.
All I know
be.
is it's wet and warm.
Exactly. There's a video screen that has Dinger on it, and Dinger's waving to you that you look down at. That's what you see when you're getting the blowjob. So that might work for some folks. Doesn't really work for me.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. But the green chili bar is fantastic. I know I've talked about this for years, but what you do is, okay, you get a hot dog. That's fine. You put the green chili and stuff on there, but you get a cup of fries, right? And then you put some cheese on it. Dump some green chili on there and some jalapenos. Go to the side where there's a little stand. Sit there, grab a fork, eat some of it, right? Eat it down a little bit. Go back.
More
green chili, cheese, jalapenos. Then go sit down. Then you got a tasty treat, motherfuckers. That's what's going on.
You know how to create value.
Absolutely, got to create value in it. But it's
So
great
far,
stuff.
so far, they're looking good in spring training, right? I mean, they beat the Diamondbacks today.
Well, come on, spring training doesn't mean shit because the lineups change so much.
Sorry, I don't care about the score.
No,
I
don't
care about the
either.
first 3 innings of a game, and I shut it off.
And you want to see how the lineups are shaking out, right?
Yeah,
you want
exactly.
to see how they're doing that and everything. So
right now, I care about seeing what Charlie Blackmon does out of the 3-hole in front of Nolan Arenado, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
That Ian Desmond grounding out of the leadoff spots today. So that was
boy.
great.
See, I pay attention to kind of what's going on vaguely. Like I look at the lineups, but I don't really pay attention to the games. I haven't listened to them or watched them or whatever because I kind of just want to wait till the season starts. I don't like. I obviously I want to know how it's gonna shape up for the season, but I kind of don't really want to watch anything because it's almost like, Colin, you know what, you want to let that orgasm build. You want to let it build. You don't want to go too soon.
Sure, I only masturbate every other day.
Exactly.
But I started looking at, I've got a trip booked for spring training, and I've got tickets to.
That's different. That's
game.
different going there.
Sure, totally, yeah. And it's late. It's late March. I've got tickets to Diamondbacks at Salt River, Reds at Salt River, and Cubs at the Cubs facility. I've got all the tickets booked, and then what my plan is to see the season opener in Arizona and the home opener
back
back at Coors Field.
Very
So
nice.
I'm excited about it, but I'm afraid I might have to cancel.
Oh,
And I blame New Denver because I have an employee who's recently married. He's pushing 40, and he and his wife want to settle down, buy a house, have a child, all of those things, and feels as though that opportunity will not avail him here in the foreseeable future. And so this is a person
very relatable.
Yeah, this is a person who's been with me for many, many years, and 7 years. And he said, "Look, bud, I got to go. I'm sorry, man. They're looking at Savannah, Georgia. The median home price there is $210,000. It's right on the ocean,
Right.
and hot and sticky, obviously.
Yeah.
But they were able to rent a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a detached 2-car garage for $900 a month.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. What? I thought I just fainted.
That's $900.
Yeah, $900 a
What?
month. And his skill set that he uses in making him one of the single best employee I've ever had, in 20 years, is immediately employable in the region because they have no winter. So he's leaving me, and I'm mad at New Denver right now. I've been resisting getting on the fuck you New Denver train, but now I'm mad.
New Denver has priced your employees out
It's
of
priced
the
my
market, yeah.
best guy.
That's
ever
new.
out of here.
N-U umlaut over the U, correct?
Right,
Yeah,
correct.
like you
Now you've
probably-
experienced this in your work life as well. I
Well,
guess.
it's just you can't hire people and it's just a bunch of fucking.
Yeah, it's awful.
You'd
It's
think
awful.
you could, but
I'm
it's-
ready for the bubble to burst, John. Burst bubble burst.
Burst bubble like a big zit.
3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a detached garage here. 2,800.
At least.
At least.
Now, I mean, fucking 20 years ago, that might have been that. So
Sure, you could get a crash pad for six hundo.
absolutely. Well, listen, we're gonna get in the fourth quarter because we're gonna go way over already. That's fine. We're gonna do that, but we got to pick up the Rockies talk. I had some Rockies questions that we have to get into, so we're gonna talk Rockies here very soon. But let's just take that to a final break, and then we'll be right back for the fourth. You got a song for us, my man? Oh yeah, he does. Let's take a quick one. Be right back.
I'm so glad that
I was told Barry scored now.
I'm so glad
Yes.
that I took the time to make this list of topics, off of which I
So did
crossed
Ghetto.
zero of them. Not one. I just looked it back over. I was like,
Well,
Restroom.
go downstairs and think, where would I have put it?
go
It's
to that
right where you
corner.
would have put it.
Go-
Now
go-
it's behind the drinking fountain.
Yeah, go to the left corner.
Yeah, left hand side.
Well, no, it's if you have a topic that you need to get to, then
I don't.
Oh, you don't.
I don't. I've got 100 topics that I thought I would need to fill time. That
Well,
Yeah.
it hasn't happened.
well, that's fine.
But
If it's not
if I can't get to this stuff, that's good.
oh, okay, that's cool. I just say if you have
Yeah,
a topic
that's
that you
going
want to
well.
get to, then you just carve it out and say, hey, let's talk about
I
this.
did mention dicks.
Because otherwise we just
Dix has a lot of
whatever
balls.
comes up, we just fucking talk about, you know. So
Oh, dude, I want to. This is only for the video fans. I want somebody like NFL Network or ESPN to hire Johnny Weir to be to go to the NFL Combine.
Fucking best.
I want him to go to the NFL Combine and cover that, and only talk about the physical like attributes of
Yeah.
the man. Just be like, oh my god, here we go. Look at his. Oh, look at his
The way that
butt.
guy pisses off the homophobes is
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
art.
Oh, I
He
can't
is
stand
so
it, dude.
good.
I can't stand it. He's
they played
Yeah,
He's
his
so over the
outfits
top.
and shit.
they played an
I
old
couldn't get it.
Stern interview with him recently, and it was great. It was fucking,
oh, Stern interviewed him.
oh yeah, it was a while ago. It probably was a year or two ago, but they replayed it while the Olympics was going on. Yeah, it was great. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I want him to be a correspondent at the Combine,
Yeah.
commenting
That's
exclusively
perfect.
on
I mean,
outfits.
He's punk rock in his own way. Like,
I want him to talk about butts,
Yeah.
hips, smooth hips,
Thighs.
fluid hips, thighs. Oh, he is cut. Oh, he is going to be so hot wherever he goes.
People would fucking bum out at that.
Do you think so?
Oh, if he was talking about men and they're like, you know,
How hot they
oh
are?
yeah, people.
It would have to be on the right network.
Well, yeah, NFL Network wouldn't do it. Oh yeah, okay,
Exactly.
closing the gap on old Rye Guy. This is awesome. Woo! Needed that.
All right. So do you do a read in between now and the start of
I'm supposed to. Let's
Okay,
see
so
what
I
I
gotta-
do, though.
There's something queued up.
Oh, yeah, I know what I do.
And I can save stuff for next time. I had the best plan for tonight, and it,
Well, the best laid plans, you know what happens in here.
Yeah.
If I can go out the window.
that's
Oh,
right.
yeah, Tyson Berry kicking ass. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's my favorite player
Tyson.
on the team. Yeah, I mean McKinnon is the best player, but Tyson Barrett, like when that year he went down in the playoffs, I was like, we're fucked.
Oh yeah,
We're so fucked. Who was the fucker that took him out?
he doesn't play for him anymore. He's
Fucking pile of shit though.
Snyder. Who was the guy that took Barry out from the Wild? Text me. Let me know. He'll remember. The fuck's that guy's name? That piece of shit.
I know. That was the most. I mean, he picked the right guy because we were fucked after that.
Oh yeah. Gotta hate the Wild.
I know they're like the I don't hate them as much as the Patriots, but they're next.
They're
I
fucking.
can't.
They're bullshit. I can't stand those fuckers.
I can't either.
Let's see this. I was just looking over here. Hey everybody!
Good shot.
Yeah,
This is such a nice fucking bonus room to have.
it's a nice room, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
always been good.
A lot of shit up here.
Because you fucking walk people up here, and then they kind of go, "Oh, I thought we were going to be in someone's living room."
So my abs are up for it too, huh?
Yes, sir. Barry's kicking ass tonight. This is awesome.
It's great.
I got Barry and Landeskog. Both picked up on waivers.
That's right. Oh shit.
Yep.
On waivers.
On waivers, yeah. Because I think Colin had him. Colin had a bunch of people and he dropped them like a dumbass. And so I think he had Barry and Landeskog and he dropped them. And like Landeskog, like they were just starting to heat up before McKinnon got hurt. That stretch where they were just tearing it up.
Yeah.
And so I had them, and then he dropped Matt Cook.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah, we couldn't remember Matt Cook's
Fuck
name.
that guy.
That was, yeah.
So,
Yeah, you
thanks, Snyder.
Right.
Yeah, bastard. I fucking hate the Wild so much. God, I just fucking hate them. They played really well last night, though. They fucking.
I don't know who I hate more between like just sheer
Pats and the
hate.
Wild.
No, between North Dakota and the Wild. Their fan bases are very similar,
Well,
but
bunch of
I
assholes.
mean, yeah.
what about the Wisconsin fans? They piss you off
Man,
too. I mean, I
they're
was
not-
at a DU game one time.
Listen, they're no longer in the conference.
Yeah.
They're the Big Ten.
There's
College hockey. I could talk your ear off about what's happening in college hockey.
Do it now. While
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. College hockey is not what it used to be.
I was there when they were playing Wisconsin, and there were some old timers there with sweaters on, like not jersey sweaters, just
Yeah.
like regular wool sweaters. That they looked like they were made in like 1920 or something.
Oh yeah.
Like these guys were just. You could
Oh,
tell.
I mean that's the thing. College
hockey.
hockey. You got the heritage of college hockey. You got Colorado because I mean, at the end of the day, Colorado College is older than DU, but the heritage of college hockey is Boston, North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Colorado.
Yeah.
That's the heart and soul of college hockey right there.
Yeah,
And
I love it. I should watch it more. When it's on, I watch it.
it's
I
fun.
remember-
College hockey is a lot of fun. Yeah, it's
This would make it very.
It took me a little while to get into it, especially in high school.
Yeah.
But like once I went to DU, it was like, oh, this is a great sport. This is a great
How'd you
college sport.
decide to go to DU?
I wanted to
got
go to
in?
Notre Dame.
Oh, you did?
That was if I'd gotten into Notre Dame, I would have gone. But I got waitlisted there. It took 7 people off the waiting list that year.
Mm.
I got punished for graduating the year that I did.
What branch of accounting do you work in?
I do consulting work, so I don't do tax. I don't do audit. I do the other fun stuff. I do mostly forensic accounting. So like
Oh, like divorces and shit.
some divorce, we do some divorce work. A lot of fraud work. So we.
Oh
Basically,
man, I don't want you near me.
I'm sure everything's on the up and up here.
Oh no, yeah, it is now.
Just file extension.
I didn't make it 20 years, so we're really on the up and up.
Yeah. Listen,
Let's just say QuickBooks is awesome.
yes, and you can
If
figure
you
out.
don't like the numbers, go back, plug it
Yeah.
to the final.
QuickBooks provides a certain level of flexibility.
It does. I will confirm that. We work on that a lot for a lot of our clients.
But I'm not on QuickBooks anymore.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah, we use a Microsoft solution.
Gotcha. Yeah, we do a lot of fraud work, a lot of bankruptcy, a lot of with big receivership right now. It has grown into World War III that I can't really talk about because there are athletes that are involved.
Oh,
with this.
yeah.
Because you're live on YouTube.
See, yes, I'm live on YouTube, and there are things that
Global,
Yeah.
galactic audience.
I
Get
can't
out
imagine.
there,
what-
Stargate.
That must be kind of an exciting feel.
Oh, it's so fun. It is so fun.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, that's like, we make it like a CBS nighttime drama.
Oh God, the things I've seen.
They call it Numbers.
Yes.
There was a
It's
show
so
called
great.
Numbers
Yeah.
already.
Oh, yeah, there
like
was
a math detective or something.
Yeah, but you got to make it about financial crimes.
Love the math detectives.
It's good stuff. What was it, MathNet? Did you ever watch that shit? It's like Channel 6.
No.
It's like
Watch
Dragnet, but it's all math.
What's the general reputation in your industry of advanced tax solutions?
Most of those types.
Spend their money on advertising.
Yeah, that's what a lot of it is. That's at the end of the day, it works because a vast majority of people they're going to be filing their 1040 EZ. I mean, you got your W-2, and you're going to be taking standard deduction. And if you can get someone who's doing that, you charge them $50 for whatever they need.
Oh, that's not Advanced Tax Solutions. That's not what they do. They do.
Oh, you're talking the
They negotiate
debt people.
down.
Yeah. No, that's every time one of those comes up, I just laugh because
We'll get the IRS to give you half off your
No, the marketing is we'll get the IRS off your ass, but you're still going to pay us.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, the IRS is going to stop calling, but we're
paying
going to call you. You're going to pay somebody.
You won't go to jail, but you're still going to owe us.
Yeah. And maybe it's going to be a couple $1,000s less at the end of the day because we'll take a cut off of that because we don't need that full balance you owe. You owe $15,000 to the IRS. We're going to do you a favor. Pay us $12,000 over the course of 10 years. We're still going to make a shit ton of money off of you. Yeah. That's all super shady. So
yeah, I've also anytime I hear one of these commercials where they talk about how if you've got terrible credit, like there's one running on Altitude right now. Tax time is car buying time, but usually my bad credit means no car for me, but not at this dealership.
See the magic man.
See the magic man.
Is that like that?
Yeah, it's just like that. Let them have it. You're paying 60% APR on your car, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, I had a guy called me the other day from a finance company. He's like, hey, we got this program, and consumer financing. You got to get on board. And I'm like, all right, let's say I borrow $1,000 and I make the regularly scheduled payments and I pay them all off. How much will I have paid? He goes, well, right now about $2,100. About $2,100, but I'm like, there's no but after that, dude. Fucking have a nice day. I'm not gonna do that to people. Jesus. Anyway, I'm ready to do it.
This has been Tax Talk. Live Tax Talk.
Is that unopened right here?
Yes.
Oh, get after it, yeah.
There we go.
So you guys know what you're doing?
Yeah, read, and then he's gonna do a song and all that.
You got a song?
Got some.
Okay. Why don't you do it?
Sportique is where scooters come from, and spring is coming. That's right. Opening day is right around the corner, and you should head there on a scooter from Sportique. 50cc machines park free at a bike rack. No license plates needed and no motorcycle endorsement. And guess what? Legal in the bike lanes. Get into the game with Sportique, where scooters come from. I think Scott would be proud right now.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Don't put any bullets in my head, John. But put some in Ryan Bolding's fantasy hockey head, please.
I don't even know if he's going to make the playoffs. So
That'd be awesome if he
it would
didn't.
be
He's
fucking
so
arrogant.
He's so up in his own ass.
Oh, yeah, he's so arrogant about it. But his dad is making the playoffs. He's entrenched. So I told him, I said, you tell your old man I'll see him down the road. Maybe I won't even see him down the road. Maybe it won't even get to me. But yeah, I got to figure a few things out.
Did you see Vic Lombardi's dad sold his car wash on the yesterday? Vic posted us. I don't know if it was an Instagram story.
Don't talk to me about Vic.
I know. You're so upset with him.
I'm so upset.
Upset with him for saying.
I've moved on to a new Italian. Okay, this is my new Italian right here.
I'm everybody's Italian.
Yeah, this is my new Italian.
I'm everybody's Italian.
Vic. So I've been saying my team, whatever,
Fill in the blank
for a long time.
And I like to say your.
And I like to say, I say your when they're playing bad. So if the Avs lost tonight, I'd say, Nick, they're your Avs, okay? Yeah. So I've been saying that for a long time because my good buddy Dave, who I went to high school with, for a longest time, he would always do this because he would, like years ago, he would make fun of people by going like, oh, yeah, this guy worked for me. He'd be like, well, I love my Yankees and my Cowboys. And he'd always like do this like kind of act. And he would always say, yeah, my Yankees and my whoever was hot at the time. My Lakers and my Cowboys and my Yankees. And we thought that was hilarious. So we start saying it. And it just kind of like been this thing that we'd always say, and it just kind of became a thing. So I'm talking, and I always say this. I don't follow basketball as closely as I do the other sports, but I was watching the Nuggets the other night, and I said, oh, I'm really glad to see my Nuggets, this and that. And I think you must have retweeted it because I don't think he follows me. And so Vic Lombardi was like, don't steal my bit. And I'm like, motherfucker, you are one to talk about stealing bits because on his older radio shows, there would always be something we would talk about on here and would slowly creep into their show. And I was like, I know Vic's not listening to this. So I thought there must be some minion.
Some producer.
Some minion listening to it that would pick up on something and go, ooh, that's really funny. Hey, Vic, what about this? And then he'd be like, yeah, whatever, and start talking about it. So I was like, don't even play, Vic. Don't even fucking try. I don't want to hear it. And I was bumped that night. I didn't want to hear it. And he thought he was encroached upon when I've been nothing but encroached upon this whole goddamn time.
I remember I was listening. It was not 2 weeks ago. I was listening to the Hastings and Browman show on that same station, and they came back from break, and Scott goes sports, and Julie goes sports. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? And then I thought, okay.
I know Scott's never listened to this.
No,
Julie Brown's there, but somebody there has.
But I thought, okay, maybe it's just they just came onto this on their own.
No, because
it's like it happens with comedians all the time. Like people make the same joke inadvertently.
That's understandable. We had been talking about bathhouses for years.
And Vic started talking about bathhouses.
Now, why would they start talking about fucking gay bathhouses out of the goddamn blue?
Yeah, he's like, I drive by this place called Denver Swim Club. I'm like, we've been talking about the Denver Swim Club for the last 9 years.
I just talked to Reno about the Denver Swim Club today. Just today, I talked to Reno about
I made a lead-in joke on our podcast tonight about the Denver Swim Club.
I thought about the Denver Swim Club because I drive by.
There are a lot of cars in the parking lot.
There's a lot of cars, and I saw like a work truck, like a contractor, and I thought, oh my god, what if I ever got called to have to go do something in there? And I thought, oh my god, I'd have to, and then like you drove by and saw my truck,
or Vic did. Vic's on Twitter. I just saw John Reedy's truck in the parking lot.
I'll be like, no, I was bidding something in there, like.
I was just rubbing out a scratch. I mean, not rubbing out. Never mind. It was there.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Before we spiral off into the bathhouse talk, which is
it's inevitable.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable.
Bathhouse Hunter was our app idea that we never got off the ground. It was
we would be millionaires.
I know. It'd be like
goodbye.
Hey,
goodbye podcast.
An idea from someone else.
Our buddy Aaron X is in Beverly Hills for some reason.
And, I know, right?
He would have needed Bathhouse Hunter. He'd dial up the app and be like, "Let me find the closest bathhouse in Beverly Hills," and they'd find it for him right there. See. God damn it, we'd be fucking millionaires.
It could book a reservation.
Oh yeah.
There it is.
Put a post a personal ad to casual encounters.
A private room within the bathhouse. Yeah. So now watch that. This will show up on Altitude next.
You ever read Casual Encounters?
No.
You got to read that shit sometime. It's great. We read it out loud at work sometimes.
Sounds great. Let's have a casual encounter with the Rockies before we forget.
Nice transition.
Thank you. I've been working on
it. Between the two of us.
Yeah, between the two of us. What I wanted to get at is that, just about the team in general, there was high hopes last season, and a lot of people were like, oh, Rockies suck, whatever. But a few of us here, we were like, the Rockies would be pretty good, and they were very good, and I think they'll be even better. How much better are they going to be? What do you expect to see this season?
I am among the more optimistic fans, whatever you want to call us.
Delusional?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm good with that. I've got them at 95 wins.
Wow.
I am.
Wow.
What'd they get last year? 80 something?
87. And
87.
I should say.
And Vegas over-under is 82.
If you
Wow.
if you go to bsndenver.com,
Which
and
you
which
used
I
to
used
work
to write
for, but
for,
you're very
yes.
bitter about now.
I'm very bitter, so bitter.
Yep.
And you look at our predictions from last year. I had the Rockies at 87 wins,
Okay.
and I predicted they were going to lose in the wild card game.
Wow.
What happened last year?
Exactly what you just
Exactly. I admit I am very.
He's the Snyder of the
said.
Rockies.
Wow. That's
I
right.
am. I admit I am very optimistic about this team, and I believe that there are many, many things that could go wrong for this team. But I also
Injuries.
exactly. But I also look at what Ryan McMahon can do, what David Dahl can do. I mean, with those two, if they perform at peak performance all year, they're going to add so much to this offense. Things that Ian Desmond couldn't do last year. And yeah, Ian Desmond's going to be a mainstay in this lineup, but I also think that he has a really good shot at being this year's Gerardo Parra from last year. I think he's going to bounce back. He never got going last year because he was hurt at the beginning of the year. And he never really found a groove. And you can look at the eye test, you can talk crap about the eye test all you want, but at the end of the day, the numbers only go so far, and Ian Desmond never found his groove. And you can say he's a one half player every year of his career. I'm choosing to be optimistic about him. I think he's going to have a good year.
Yeah, I think you will too, and I think that they're going to be good. So you would say that betting the over on 82 is a good bet then?
If you don't bet the over, you're just an idiot.
You're giving away
Yeah,
money.
I'm betting that.
Giving
what you
away.
say.
Wow, let's
I'm
get over. Let's
absolutely
get down
betting
there
that.
and
That's a
bet
lot.
that shit. That's awesome.
I bet them at 2,500 to 1 to win the World Series.
You
So,
did?
At plus
Why not?
2,500.
Why not?
When,
Yeah.
when I was on Vegas with Snyder, I put down $20
That's
on
20
it.
bucks on that. Why not? That's a fucking huge payday. I think they'll be. Obviously, they play in a tough division. They've got the Giants will be better.
Dodgers.
It goes without saying, but they are. You saw the strides last year, and it wasn't like before where you kind of were like, oh yeah, they got a little better, and then they're going to go back. These guys are good. They got all the young guys.
Trevor Story's been white hot.
Well,
in spring training.
in spring training. I think you're right, and I just I can't quantify it, but I mean, because you never know how it's going to play out, but they have to improve. I think that there's nothing but improvement from here on out because of what they've done. I mean,
Listen, offense. The offense is still going to be a problem this year, but the offense is going to be bolstered by the pitching. Pitching is going to be so good this year.
I think so too.
And everyone's saying, yeah, the rotation is going to be good. The bullpen's going to be good. No, this is going to be a Rockies historic pitching staff.
Do you go with a historic or an historic? I just had this conversation on Twitter the other day.
I go with A.
A historic. I think it's permissible to go either
It
way.
might be, but
I don't
technically
think there's
because it
anything
begins with
wrong
an
with
H.
Yeah, I like a historic also.
You can
That's
go
why I
a
hesitated.
historic,
I
but
wasn't
not
sure how I
a
would do it.
historic.
Not a historic. Yeah, that probably works. My mother is like 80 years old. She hates. I don't say she hates the Rockies, but she's always complaining about them. And I always thought it'd just be a great bit just to get her on video complaining about the Rockies because she has all the misconceptions of the casual fan. It's like, oh, their pitching sucks, and I'm like, actually, their pitching's really good. She's like, it is? I'm like, yeah, it's really good. It's going to be even better. No, it's not.
She reads Woody Page.
She might, yeah, actually. And and so she's like,
whippersnapper.
she's like, that guy with the blonde hair. And I'm like, Trevor Story? She's like, no. And then she didn't want to say the black guy, and so she meant Ramel Tapia. And so I was like, oh, you mean because we've been talking about Tapia? And so I was like, hold on, let me find out something about Tapia. So I asked Drew Kreisman, who's a big, Tapia fan. But so she's been talking about Tapia and how horrible he is. And I was like, Tapia is actually really good. I think he's going to be even better this year. So she has the common misconceptions, and I think that's part of the fandom of the Rockies is you've got all these people that kind of have this almost like this blanket idea of what to expect, and they haven't really watched this team, and this is a fucking good team.
Do you think Ramel Tapia ever uses as a pickup line, hey, baby, I'd love to be on Tapia?
I would hope so. I mean, that would be great.
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah,
Wait, when is full English.
when he learns
Oh.
full English. But it's that funny thing because there's so many people that are not it's so easy to hate on the Rockies. We all know this. It's so easy to be like, oh, the Rockies suck, Monfort's fucking suck. But if you really look at it and if you actually follow the team and watch the games, you know they got something brewing there. And I think that people don't really realize that.
20 years of mediocrity in a city that breeds winners over time, that will breed contempt among fans. And I totally get it. Listen, I was probably after 2014, I was angry. I mean, growing up, I went to probably between 5 and 10 games. Growing up in North Colorado Springs and Monument, you know, we had a conversation before the show. You know, growing up down there, we went to a number of games. But I would say between 2013 and 2015, I went to maybe 2 games. I was
they were fucking bad.
They were so bad. I was mad. I was angry at the Monforts. I mean, I felt
Dan O'Dowd.
Yeah, I ate up those narratives, and then I started getting back into it, looking at what was coming, what was in the minors, and I was like, oh, okay.
It helps that they are decent because if they kept kind of going how they were, then you could still be pissed off. Because I look at old tweets and I'm like, man, I was really angry about this, and you know, and then I thought, and then I kind of came around to like, okay, you can kind of actually look at it analytically and say, all right, I can kind of see what they're doing and separate yourself from the anger towards the Monforts, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I think there was a lot of misplaced anger. I think there was a lot of anger that was justified, but I think the Monforts may have borne a brunt of that. You know, they've had a little too much of that blame. I think the decision to go with 2 GMs for however long that was, and having Guy Vett with his office in the clubhouse, what the fuck was that? Whose idea was that?
Yeah, that's so
but
bad.
who signed off on that? Mike, like at the end of the day, yeah, you know, the buck stops with the Monforts, and the buck stops with the owners. And if they're not willing to spend the money, then you know what? Yeah, okay, be angry. But I do think having a competent GM, and I think O'Dowd was better than we give him credit for. But his minor league savvy was a hell of a lot better than anyone. I will listen, and I agree with Drew on a lot of what he says about O'Dowd's savvy with minors. I just think if the Rockies had somebody else who was there in place of Dan O'Dowd while Guy Vett was here, or excuse me, the opposite.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, sure.
If somebody else who had a better understanding how free agency worked, how the trades at the major league level worked, I think the Rockies would have been good a hell of a lot sooner, and maybe 2010 wouldn't have been the end of the good era.
Where do the Rockies rank in terms of payroll?
I believe right now that they're actually more in the middle of the pack than they were before. I know for so long they were close to the bottom, but I know in the last few years, I know they're very middle. They're not quite.
They're not Boston.
Yeah, they're not Boston. Not the Yankees. They're not LA. They're not top 5. But I think at this point they may.
My Yankees and my Red Sox.
Exactly.
To what degree, Nick, do you think that's a problem in Major League Baseball that there's so much disparity between payrolls?
Well, you look at what the Astros did last year, and I think that's the argument that you say, you don't need a salary cap.
There's always an outlier.
But exactly, and I'm not saying there needs to be a salary cap, but maybe they need to maybe the luxury tax needs to be lower. The luxury tax threshold may need to be lower. But at the end of the day, the Yankees haven't won since 2009.
The Dodgers fucking can't seem to get over the hump, even though spending.
It's one of my favorite things. And the Giants haven't outspent. I mean, as much as, oh my God, I cannot tell you how much I hate the Giants. I mean, in fact, I take more joy in the Giants losing than I do the Rockies winning, first of all. I should just clarify that. But the Giants haven't really overspent to win all their championships. They've built it from within, and I think you look at what the Rockies are doing, and it's I hate to put the Rockies in a model that was created by the Giants, that was created by the Cubs, because what they're doing is so different. Because playing at altitude, it's a different brand of baseball.
I hope so, and I wish they would realize that and capitalize on it.
Right, and I think what they're doing with the pitching, especially, is that they're investing in the bullpen and they're creating starters who are confident pitching at altitude. I think that's a huge.
That's a huge thing. Which
mean,
years ago they were like, "You're fucked, dude. Just do your best."
we'll outscore them 9-8.
Yeah.
We'll play ERA. Come to Denver.
Yeah.
We'll play 13 to 12 games and we'll win them because our offense is so good. But that's not how baseball works.
So Snyder who's the only person I think watching at this point. Maybe there's more people. I don't know. So he just said Wade Davis. What do you think about Wade Davis? Obviously a good pitcher. Everyone thinks, oh well, if you listen to like fantasy podcasts, they're like, oh well, he's going to Coors Field. Everyone thinks he's gonna have a bad year because of that. He's probably a better reliever than fucking what's his hell that played last year, and then what's his name?
Which one?
The guy that they didn't re-sign that came from the
Greg Holland?
Yeah.
The guy who fucked us in the wild card game?
Yeah, asshole, fucking piece of shit.
God, that was miserable.
So he's
Sad
a better pitcher than Holland is, I think. How do you think he's going to translate?
I think it's great. I love that signing. And, you can quibble over the number of dollars they gave him.
Well,
Quite frankly, it's not my money. I don't care what they threw out, and they got him here. I'm not the one spending the money. So you know what? He's a Rocky. I'm excited to watch him play. But I think any good pitcher can pitch well at altitude for an inning.
Oh, sure.
And I think that is what Jeff Bridich is realizing. Is he's saying, you know what? We have our rotation anchored by John Gray. We got Herman Marquez, who's going to be great. We have a starting rotation that will get the job done. They'll get us to the 7th inning. And from there,
and sometimes the 6th.
And you know what? That happens, and that's baseball. But you have Mike Dunn. You got Adam Ottavino, who's hopefully going to bounce back from a tough year. You got Wade Davis. And you've got a bullpen that knows what they're doing. And if you're playing at Coors Field, you know what? You're going to give up some long balls. But at the end of the day, if you're a Wade Davis, if you're an Adam Ottavino, if you're somebody who understands how to pitch, you can pitch well at altitude for an inning.
Because that's all they need you for.
You got to get 3 outs.
Yeah, that's what they need you for. So
you got to get 3 outs. If you get 3 outs, that's all you need. It's on to the next guy.
let me ask you this. Let's switch to fantasy. If you're doing a fantasy draft, which I know you are, which Rockies are you taking?
Which Rockies?
Go from position players to pitching, everything. Let me know if they come up and you're like, I'm taking that.
If I have the number 1 overall pick, I'm taking Arenado, obviously.
You've number 1?
And number 1 overall.
Oh God, yes.
Wow.
The things he's going to do. I mean, obviously. Okay, that's a lie. I would take Mike Trout, number 1 overall.
Okay.
If I'm number 2 overall, it's between Harper and Arenado.
Okay.
And I'm leaning Arenado, believe it or not.
Oh, I would take Arenado over Harper for sure.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. I'm not sold on Shohei Ohtani. So
Yeah.
I think he's not going to be that.
Or am I? Or am I going to pass?
Exactly right.
Yeah, or am I?
Yeah, you can't let your competitors know.
Definitely not.
But as far as Rockies, I think
You pass on Trevor Story?
see, that's a tough one. I would take him.
You would take it.
I'd take him
In what round? Of a 12-team draft.
5th at the earliest. At the earliest.
Yeah, it's got to be around there. But I mean, there's other shortstop options before and probably after him that might be a little better.
John, how soon in a baseball draft do you like a pitcher?
Depends where I'm picking. So if I'm picking near the end of the round and I can get like somebody pretty good, position,
And you get another pick, right?
and then I
right?
come after that, then I might get one of those guys if they're there. If I'm early, I'm never early, so I don't know. That doesn't really matter to me. That's generally where I'd like to get him, but I'm not going to take him. I'm not going to take him first. This is stupid.
Can you justify taking an SP in the first round?
I can't. I mean, people want to take Kershaw, but I just like it's you can get a good guy. Let's say it's a 12-team league. Let's say you're picking 10th. You get a really good guy, and then turn around and get probably as
Or
good.
top 5?
Yeah, is just as good a pitcher. And I mean, Kershaw is great and all, but don't blow that on the. Actually, no, blow that on Kershaw. I want everyone out there in the league to
Please, select
yeah,
Kershaw.
write that down, Jeff. But so I mean, but then the pitchers. You're going to take which pitchers? You're going to take. You're going to take some pitchers when they come up.
I am not going to take a starter.
No,
At the end of the day,
you're not going to take a Rocky starter.
You're a big end of the day guy,
Yeah.
I hate that saying so much.
but you
Say
use it
all.
all.
Keep saying it.
I'm the biggest hypocrite you'll ever find. Do as I say, not as I do.
Absolutely.
I say it all the time. That's my saying. Do as I say,
Yeah,
not as I do.
absolutely.
But no,
That's Trump's saying too.
It's the American way.
I was born to live here. No, I think you take Rockies relievers before you take starters because they still pitch at Coors. Their ERAs, their stats are still going to be inflated, and
they're going to pitch minimal innings.
Exactly, and their pitch counts are going to get inflated. Things are going to happen, and that's just the nature of the beast of pitching at Coors Field.
He stumbled onto Greg Holland and had a great first half of the season.
Great first half.
First half, yes.
It's kind of went downhill after that.
And you notice he's not getting signed anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, because people knew. They were like, ooh, he looked bad near the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the Rockies don't get to the playoffs without him.
Sure.
I truly
Oh no, he had great
he was
first
great.
half.
He was great.
Didn't
for
they
the
just
Rockies.
overuse him? Wasn't that the big thing?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
he came off of Tommy John.
And he got tired.
That was a typical Tommy John recovery year. And at the end of the day, damn it, there we go again.
There you go.
That's what it was. And you can't fault him for it, but also you can't
At the end of the
cut
day.
myself again.
All I know is we're talking about baseball. There it is.
That's awesome.
Baseball means sunshine. It means hot dogs. It means cold beers. That's fantastic.
Yes,
God
it's
damn.
awesome.
I've got my 20-game plan.
Do you good?
Second
good.
year in a row.
That's
I
excellent.
want to do a 20-game plan. That gets you opening day, right?
If I knew I was going to be here for it, yes, it would.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that too.
Do it.
Let's do it. Let's get out of here because we're way over. This was really good. I could talk about the Rockies all night. We probably should have gotten to earlier, but that's the way it goes around here. It's good stuff. Don't turn it up too much. We gotta give our guests a send out. We gotta tell them. We'll be living after midnight if we keep this going any longer.
Like watching the Nuggets last
Exactly.
night. 8:30 tip turned into a 9 p.m. tip. I was watching the Nuggets at midnight.
Sounds
I'm
terrible.
just glad I missed them losing.
Living after midnight.
Oh my God, it was awful.
Midnight, rocking till the dawn. Nick Trem, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. First timer. It's good to have you.
Absolutely. It's been a blast.
You come back, talk some Rockies in the summertime. It'd be great.
Always down.
We can get into it. So tell everybody where they can find you at your various locales.
I've got at Nick Trem _17. The name right now is Colorado versus the World for the Olympics. And then also definitely follow Let's Go DU. There's no apostrophe in that. That's if you care about college sports. If you're not John Reedy,
Boo.
And boo
Yeah.
college. Or boo me. I don't
Boon.
know. Boo me?
Boon.
give us some clicks too. We always like clicks.
Actually, if you like a little DU action, check those guys out. Nick's a good follow. He's a part of what's called Rocky's Twitter. I'm doing quotes if you can't see it at home. That's one of those things, Colin. It's Rocky's Twitter, and it's funny because there's people that are kind of like part of it, and other people actually talk about they're actually part of it. It's weird. They actually state it I'm part of Rocky's Twitter, and it's
you have to know Tacos has an apostrophe.
Yeah.
And it's always John Elway's birthday.
absolutely.
Which also, happy birthday, John.
There you go. See, but I just thought it's interesting because there's lots of people who are part of Rocky's Twitter, and they don't say they're part of Rocky's Twitter. They just are. And there's other people I see. They go, "I'm part of Rocky's Twitter." It's
Not
dude,
really, dude.
don't say that. Don't say that. Don't claim that. Just
My Rockies, whatever.
just be a part of
loser.
it. So, but it's a good bunch of folks. Follow Nick. You'll find all these other people that are really interesting. They're good. They're good folks. A lot of nerds in there, though. Let me tell you, a lot of fucking nerds.
You're not kidding.
Yeah, a lot of fucking nerds. Anyway, good having you in. Appreciate you stopping by. We'll have you again soon when the Rockies get going. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. This has been a good show. We'll get back to you next time. It's been the South Stands Live. Adios.
We love you, Denver! Rolling!
All right.
Living after midnight, rocking till the dawn, love it till
Too
the
slow.
morning.
I'll get that down to 0 by next time. Thank you for having me.
Good job, buddy.